Howdy friends, this is the Roaming Prepper. Thanks for coming by to check out the video. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe at the end. And if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Today's video is going to be specifically a product review solving one of my individual problems. I was looking for a carry option for my license carry that gave me different attributes than the handguns I was using. So I went through a little troubleshooting. I think I found my perfect handgun for this occasion, and I'll be right back and we're going to talk about what exactly I found and what it looks like when you take it out of the box. So I'll be right back. So, I had a couple of different handguns I was using depending on the occasion. Traditionally, when I travel, believe it or not, I'll bring 2 carry pieces, depending on what I'm doing. One of my go-to carry pieces is a Springfield XDS. It's the Gen 1 model that got recalled, actually. I sent it back. They did the upgrades. I've had no problems with it. I've had it for years and years. It's a single stack subcompact, super concealable, super lightweight. You can walk all day with it and forget you had it. The problem is, one, it's a single stack, so you have that limitation in the ammunition if you get into something hairy. And two, it had a shorter barrel, so although with practice you can obviously hit targets at a distance, it was pretty much a close quarter get off of me, don't assault my family kind of sidearm. My other option when I was out in the field, because the Springfield was not suitable for that, was this guy, which is old school Army, the Beretta M9. This is a classic platform. The first generation had a lot of issues with it, with the slide. Of course, for the record, the Navy SEALs broke it, is what the rumor is, and they were using plus P ammunition in their brand new M9s back in the 80s and busted this slide, which as you can see is hollow on top. So the principle was it would prevent jams and whatnot. Sand does get in here, but if you have a proper holster, you maintain your weapon. It's a super reliable weapon. It served the US military for 35 years, but you couldn't run plus P in the original version. The newer versions are upgraded, and right now it's one of the best performing handguns in the world, but it's an all metal frame. It's an absolute brick. This weapon, and it has the nifty decocker, this weapon loaded is almost 1.5 pounds. It's just under 2 pounds. It's really heavy, super stable because of the long barrel and the weight. The 9mm doesn't really move it at all. But it kind of became a real challenge to use this sidearm in any kind of concealed version. Aside from its long barrel, its big size, it was heavy as crap. And in Texas, in the summer, it starts getting hot. This becomes very uncomfortable. And basically, once it got hot in Texas, or if I was in a suit, just the design of it is not meant for concealability. You got a thigh holster, an open carry holster, like a retention style. This is a great piece. And I will not be selling this. I love this gun, but day to day, not as practical as what I was hoping. So as such, I wound up going to find a different solution. And the solution I found was Heckler & Koch. Now I do have an HK that is the old USP compact. That is a 40 caliber, and it is one of the most phenomenal handguns I've had. I've had it over 20 years. This is no joke. I've put at least 6,000, 7,000 rounds through it. I've used it in tournaments. The 40 cal and a short barrel is very snappy. You start having issues reacquiring your target when you start doing double and triple shots, but the reliability is beyond par. So there I was. I didn't want a 40, a little too snappy in a small barrel. I can't carry the M9 very effectively concealed because it became a brick and it was just very unpleasant. So I wound up going with a third option, which again was a Heckler & Koch. And shockingly, I was looking at a Glock 19, and the store I went to was trying to sell these off in order to open some inventory space because they weren't moving. And I got a Heckler & Koch for the price of a Glock 19, which is, those of you who follow firearms know that's very rare, if not unheard of. So I was super happy to make that deal. And I carried it. I've been using it now for a couple of months, so this is not a completely new unboxing. It's been at the range. I've been doing tap and go drills, double tap drills, the Zimbabwe drills, the whole 9 yards, and this thing is fitting the bill all across. And even though it's a larger pistol than the XDS, when I have it concealed, especially in like a fishing shirt, because if you notice, this fishing shirt looks big, but in reality, that's me. So I get my shirts a little bit big for the purpose of concealed carry, and I will forget it's there. I've even driven 14 hours with it under my shirt. You know, hit a hotel, get up in the morning, go to the next destination, and didn't really feel it. So I'm gonna do an unboxing. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit, and then we're gonna take a look at the goodies in here. So I'll be right back. Let me move my stuff around and we'll go and review the HK VP9. Okay, gang, so I gotta tell you, for basis of comparison, since I mentioned it, I figured I'd bring that old HK. So this is the HK 40 cal. This is probably one of the oldest pistols I own. It still runs great. I take it out every few months. I maintain it, function check it. I'll probably shoot it at the range once a year just to make sure everything's hunky-dory. Basically, this pistol is older than 2 of my kids, and if it came to it, I could carry it and use it in the field and absolutely have no issues with it. You notice it does have a wide profile up top. Does have the classic decocker. This is an older version. This is actually the law enforcement and military version, so it was required to have a safety at that point. But yeah, this is what the Border Patrol went to back in the mid-90s, and still a good piece. But very snappy. 40 cal is a very hot round. It's a good round, very effective, but super hot. So we'll leave that there for now. And here's the Beretta M9. And as you can see, surprisingly, so this is an all-metal frame and upper with a composite lower. This is metal top to bottom. So you can see the size difference between those two. And this one's actually very chunky. So it may not appear so, but it's very squared off. So neither of these was really working. I really wish I had the VP9 in my competition days. This is the VP9. Now in the box, you're going to get 2 mags, which since I told you I was already carrying them, I have right here. They comes in Texas with a 17 round mag. And that was one of my big requirements, was I wanted to increase mag capacity, but not get a terrible weight penalty where this guy is just heavy. And the M9A3 I hear is a phenomenal handgun, but it's about this size and this weight, if not a little heavier. I don't know the specifics, so I gotta look up. But the M9s for a field pistol is great, but it was heavy as shit and not functional. 40 cal had the bit of snappiness. In hindsight, I should have gotten this in a 9 or gotten the long barrel in a 40, either way. But also 40 is expensive as crap, which doesn't help. The HK VP9 came in its case. Of course, it has the required safety lock, which is always a good idea. Folks, if you have little kids in the house, don't become another statistic. Lock the damn gun if you're not carrying it. I believe in securing your firearms properly if you have children or anyone who is irresponsible or not knowledgeable. But if not, you can always use this for other reasons. So you have this gizmo here. What it does come with is, aside from the weapon itself, and again, clear as always, the weight of this one is actually lighter than the shorter compact. So you can see it's a little bit longer, but this guy's actually as heavy, if not a little heavier than this guy. Do keep in mind we're comparing technology 20 years apart. The VP9 is significantly shorter than the Beretta, and it's lighter by a lot. You can just pick it up and feel it. So this, with the 17 round mag, is still lighter, at least to my feel, than the M9 empty, which is significant. Again, not knocking the Beretta M9. These came out in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. This is very old tech. It's a very good design, but it's super heavy. This one's super light. As you can see, it does not have a safety, this particular model. It has the grasp or the stippling on both the front of the slide and the rear, so you can do quick checks like that, see if you're loaded. It also has, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, it has this little nub here. So if you're trying to do a quick snatch, your fingers will catch this little nub. It's actually a protrusion right behind the rear sight, and makes for a quick slide action. It does have a standard Picatinny rail, which, as you can see, this older HK does not. It has like this generic rail thing. The classic M9 has no rail. So even if I wanted to put a light on it and use it as a home defense pistol, I have to get an adapter to basically attach a light here, and it becomes a real complication. This one fits the bill. It has a little brother called the VP9 SK for subcompact. VP9 stands for Volkspistol, or Pistolen, which is basically the people's pistol. It was specifically made for the civilian carry market. So you come with 2 mags, which was nice because a lot of new guns nowadays do not. In the case also, you have this little hoo-ha, which is actually that is not the technical word for the device. It's actually a loading tool. So I don't know, I don't usually use it. Let's see if I can figure out how the hell this works. Oh, there we go. So, you know, for those of you, maybe you're struggling with it, or, you know, if you have arthritic hands, this comes in really handy. You push down, you put your round in theory, and then it ejects and pisses you off. No, and then you push it in, and there you go. And there's your little tool. This one's kind of flimsy. You can definitely get a good one, mag loader tool, at a store third party. Now, what really sold me on the VP9 is when I picked it up, it was a little chunky in the middle. I said, man, it feels great, but it's kind of chunky. And the guy said, dude, it has removable grip panel. So if you look carefully right here at the base of the handgun, there's a little hole there. There's actually a rolling pin. You can knock it out. I think it's a 5/16 rolling pin, so it's a pretty common size. And it has panels. So this is the widest grip, so you can actually extend the grip or extend the back strap, if you will, or thin it out. Because I use it concealed, I actually went with the medium one here. I didn't go with the thinnest one, but then actually I stand corrected. I used the thinnest one on the back strap, but then on the sides I wanted a little more chunkiness, so you actually have side panels. So once you've taken off the back strap, you slide it down. These side panels on the handgun actually slide backwards and they come out. So you can replace the sides. So if you have a bigger grip, you can accommodate that bigger grip. And if you're a smaller handed person, you can do that. So I actually went with the medium sides and the smallest back strap, because this, when I was driving, was digging into my side, and that did not feel good. But again, I was able to customize it in 3 dimensions for my specific use. I guess if it was a service pistol, I might configure it a little differently if I was open carrying like a police officer or security guard. But this actually was really phenomenal. And that was a big selling point for me, by the way, because this one, the grip is what you get. This grip, I will tell you, is not awesome. It's aggressive, but it's when you shoot rapidly, because it's kind of weird, your hands will get wet and it just starts sliding this way and it becomes a big pain in the butt. So you kind of have to really hunker down on it while you're trying to shoot. The M9 doesn't really recoil that much for its size, but it's very chunky. And again, these back strap is really big and it just pokes the shit out of you. Again, I was able to customize it in 3, the X and Y direction for my use. The mag, it is not a flared magwell. There is a version with it, with a long barrel and a compensator. It's called the VP9 Tactical. There's a VP9 Competitive. This is just, here's your VP9. Now, I will tell you, this is a that is a tritium sight in the front, which is really nice for sight acquisition. It has the simple wedge in the back. I haven't decided if I'm going to change the back, but this has become my go-to handgun. It fit the bill both on weight, comfort as far as carrying, as well as the recoil. I took it to the range and I was doing tap and goes, which is a little drill I learned a while ago. You put 2 rounds in one mag, you put 3 in the other, fire 2, lock your breech open, swap mags as fast as you can, reacquire with the new mag, fire 3 rounds. It's kind of a spin on the, I believe it's the Zimbabwe drill, but I gotta tell you, it shoots really nicely. It's a great piece. I did need a holster on short order because I got the handgun and I had enough time to take it to the range, clean it, qualify it. But then I needed a holster, so I got this bad boy off of Amazon. I wasn't sure what I was getting. It is called Vomitex. It's custom fit for this particular pistol. It actually turned out to be a really good leather holster. It's not super high-end, but it's not terrible, and it's doing the job. Probably need a few other holsters, maybe a paddle holster, as well as a low profile without the retention for really more concealed carry. This I could do either or. I got to get used to having that damn thumb snap there, but it fit the bill on short order. It didn't cost me too much, so I would recommend that holster as well. But God, look, ladies and gentlemen, this was actually a pleasant handgun. The felt recoil is negligible compared to, you know, a subcompact, which may get snappier. This cannon over here. But if you want to see the takedown, you lock the slide back, flip this forward, and much like its peers, the Glocks and the other handguns, you just disassemble, you pop the spring out, you pop your barrel out, and off you go. It basically breaks down into 4 pieces. I also noticed the trigger set is modular. So if you have the tools or you buy the kit, you can go to a gunsmith and they can go click, click, click and pop out your trigger set. I actually like it. I would recommend before you take it to the range, if you get this handgun, clean it thoroughly here. You don't need a lot of lube, but you do need to get your cleaning patches in there with some rem oil. There was a bunch of grease here. When I first started shooting it, I'd get off 2 rounds and then I'd get a double feed or I'd get a stovepipe, which meant the slide wasn't actioning correctly. And I knew it wasn't me. I wasn't like limp wrist shooting where you're not letting the pistol do its thing. I fought with it a bit. I actually disassembled it on the range, took a paper towel I had in my range bag and just went after it in here. And eventually I put, 300 rounds through it and blew all the garbage out. As expensive as ammo is now, I wasn't happy to do that, but I was happy to do it to make sure the damn thing worked. I have gone back, put a couple of hundred more rounds through it with all sorts of different drills, fast shooting, slow shooting. And no, it's been flawless ever since. So again, but I did find gobs of grease back here. I thought I'd cleaned them, and as I shot, they came out from under the mechanism and landed in the grooves and hung everything up. So be prepared to, when you go, if they shipped it from Germany, they're going to have some grease in there. You're going to have to give it a good cleaning. Now reassembly, once you put everything back, you pop the slide back, put the retention lever forward, and there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this has now become my go-to pistol, pretty much, with the exception of where I have to be very, very discreet for business or whatever. This has become my go-to handgun. I do bring the XDS with me on road trips because there are occasions I can travel with this in a baggy shirt. Then I have to go to some kind of function where my clothing is a little more tight fit, and this is going to be apparent, so I have to go to the little guy. But for 90% of what I'm doing, including my home defense gun, this is it now. This one's probably going to wind up in my get-home bag. I have a safe built in my F-150. And right now I got an old janky 38 Special, so this will happily go in there. I know this is super reliable, and it's not going to die in a truck for sure. And by the way, if you leave firearms in your trucks, make sure they're locked somehow. Don't just stick them under your seat. We've had so many guns stolen in Texas because they just break the window, or even worse, they open the door because they didn't lock the door, and they go under the seat and find the gun and they run off with it. And now there's another gun with an asshole out in the woods. So make sure you secure your shit. But yeah, this one goes with me everywhere. It never sees the safe because it's always within, 3 feet of my person. Folks, that's it for the review on the VP9, and we'll close out this video series. But yeah, this is a great piece. Hey guys, all right, so guys, that's it for this review. This is a great handgun. Normally the retail price is upwards of $7,000. I've seen them for $1,000. I got this under the price of a Glock, which is impressive. Most Glocks range between $500 and $600. I got it under $600 and reasonably under $600, so it was a really good deal. Again, I know I'm getting a long-term handgun because, like I said, this older one, is older than 2 of my kids. So, this is something I'm hoping I'll, one day hand over to my sons or my grandchildren, depending on if they're not, a-holes and shouldn't be around dangerous things. But folks, if you can get your hands on one on a sale or maybe secondhand, if it's in functional shape, it's definitely worth the money. Definitely, in light of the fact, as of right now, and this isn't being recorded in 2022, we have so much instability, so much, street crime. The wheels fall off. You may need that extra capacity to deal with the threat. But it's small enough and light enough and comfortable enough to carry concealed, but it's big enough and has enough capacity to defend your home. So it's a good all-around handgun, exactly what I was looking for. So I'm super happy with it, and I hope this was helpful. I will point out one last thing. The mag release, unlike most other handguns, like this Beretta, has the button release on the thumb side. So you basically pop it like that. This has paddles, and it's hard to see. It has a little paddle that you kind of flip down here. It's a classic HK design, and ironically, the old handgun also has the first generation of the paddle. It actually, in my opinion, is easier to release the mag because I can do it with my thumb. I could do it with my middle finger here. I can do it with my offhand if I need to. Really accessible mag release. But yeah, that's it, folks. So, and don't forget, if you're carrying concealed or open, get a quality holster, okay? Don't get cheap on the holster. I know times are tight, but you don't want to get hung up. I did that. I was at a shoot and I got a cheap holster, and I literally got the M9 stuck in a holster with a round in the chamber. The holster wouldn't release. Don't do it. Get a decent quality holster. Also, I got a holster with a high back strap on it, so the leather is up against my side, so that guy's not poking holes in the side of me. I tried the same with the M9, but it was too heavy and it pulled my pants off. So anyway, folks, I hope that was useful, and again, I'll eventually get around to doing a video where I'm going to compare all of these on the range and shoot them live. Today I can't do it, but if you have any questions, feel free to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I forgot my own pitch line. And when you're on the road, be safe, be careful, watch your six, folks, and watch the people around you. Not just for threats, but some of them may not be paying attention. You could be the difference between someone getting mugged and someone actually seeing their threat in time. Just don't put yourself in danger. Until next time, God bless, Godspeed, love to all our troops overseas, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.